You know, some of the most unforgettable business lessons don't come from textbooks, seminars, or the halls of Harvard. Sometimes they come straight out of the jungle. Back in the 1980s, Pablo Escobar was pulling in so much cash that his biggest problem wasn't the law. It was the logistics. Picture this. $22 billion in 1 year. That's so much cash. He was literally spending thousands of dollars a month just on rubber bands to bundle it together. But here's the wildest part. Every single year, about 10% of Escobar's fortune simply vanished. Not from theft, not from taxes. Nope. Billions just disappeared. Eaten by rats, soaked away by humidity, lost forever in the mud and dust. Let that sink in for a moment. Imagine losing millions of dollars not because you made a bad bet, but because you couldn't physically keep up with the money pouring in. This is where I see a principle that's more important than cash flow, more important than growth. Escobar had more scale than most of us could ever dream of, but he didn't have structure. And wealth without structure? It's a recipe for waste. In business, I call this operational drag. When your growth outpaces your systems, you're not building an empire. You're just creating a bigger mess. We all love to talk about scaling up. We obsess over revenue and wild expansion. But look closer. Most great fortunes don't disappear because of a market crash or a bad investment. They vanish because the foundation, the boring stuff, isn't there. Governance, controls, documentation, disciplined management. That's what keeps your money from leaking out the sides. It doesn't matter if you're running a household budget or a billion-dollar startup. If you're not tracking what you have, you don't really own it. You've just given entropy a target. Escobar's billions vanished because he didn't have the infrastructure a legitimate business, or even a small, tight operation, needs. He couldn't use banks. He couldn't audit his holdings. He was outside the system, and that's where entropy thrives. So, here's the takeaway. Don't just measure your success by what's coming in. Measure it by the strength of the vessel holding it all together. Because in the end, it's not about how much you make. It's about how much you're organized enough to keep. Structure, my friends, is the true currency.